It's time now for the PHL Evening News on this Wednesday evening, July 22nd, 2015. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins. Your 6:45 p.m. news at 9 here, and our top story here is a woman who was found dead in a Texas jail days after being arrested following a traffic stop told girls that she previously tried to kill herself, according to the sheriff's orders. According to the sheriff's office. Former Texas Governor Rick Perry delivered a blistering critique of Donald Trump Wednesday, decrying the real estate mogul's Barking Carnival Act and likening it to a cancer. Fast food workers in New York State would see a supersized raise under the plan to face in a $15 minimum wage, the first time in the state has singled out a particular industry for such an increase. Hong Kong, farmers turned village community centers and makeshift trading floors. Young workers quit low-paying jobs to play the market full-time. London, roaches set up to step up research efforts on 2 Alzheimer's drugs, both of which suffered setbacks in tests last year, reflecting its belief in drugs targeting protein plaques found in brains of patients with the disease. He shot at a military equipment center, drove off and rammed the gates of the Navy Reserve Center. A service member inside the facility saw the threat posed by the heavily armed Muhammad Abdulaziz and opened fire. Greek MPs are debating a second set of reforms that they need to approve to secure an $86 billion euro bailout as thousands protest against austerity measures. In Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Saudi and U.S. leaders agreed Wednesday to curb Iran's military reach across the Middle East amid fears that last week's nuclear deal with Iran would encourage it to pursue more aggressive regional ambitions. A pair of bomb bombs exploded Wednesday at the crowded top rail markets in predominantly Shiite neighborhoods of the Iraq capital, Baghdad, killing at least 26 people and wounding 58, authorities said. Rome, the Italian police on Wednesday arrested 2 men and accused of plotted attacks in the national landmarks in Italy and of posting threatened message online in support of the Islamic State. Washington, the white man charged in South Carolina with killing 9 blacks at a Charleston church faces federal hate crimes and firearm charges that could lead to the death penalty life in the prison. After an aggressive fistfight over New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio's proposed capping the number of cars ride-hailing companies can add annually, Cuban and the city government have reached a sort of compromise. Ferguson, Missouri hires another interim police chief as Andre Anderson spoke during a news conference and announced him as the interim police chief of the Ferguson, Missouri Police Department. A federal appeals court struck down a North Dakota law considered by some of the one of the most restrictive anti-abortion laws in the country. In San Francisco, the chip maker Qualcomm reported sharply lower earnings on Wednesday and said it planned to cut its workforce by 15%. Washington, U.S. home resales rose in June to the highest level in nearly 8.5 years as sign of pent-up demand that should buoy the housing market recovery and likely to keep the Federal Reserve on track to raise interest rates later this year. Wall Street declined for a second straight session on Wednesday as the technology sector fell on disappointing results from giants including Apple. And now look at the stock market report here at 6:48. The Dow 17,851.04, down 68.25, S&P 500 2114.15, down 5.06, and Nasdaq 5,171.77, down 36.35. In what would appear to be a new public campaign to defend Bill Cosby, a lawyer for the Tyrion began its recent appearances on various media outlets and Wednesday pushing back against what she described as misleading news reports. The European 7 observatories Atacama Large Millimeter Simulator Array more, commonly referred to as ALMA, has detected the most distant gas clouds that form stars thus far discovered in the early universe. Original landmarks came from Siberia in a single wave no more than 23,000 years ago at the height of the last stage. New studies found at the height of the last ice age. In Baikonur, Kazakhstan, a Soyuz space capsule blasted off from the Russian manned launch facility in Kazakhstan carried a Russian, an American, and a Japanese to the International Space Station. From the hearty stews eaten through pregnancy to the sub-train muffin baskets and takeaways coupled with baby on your lap, there's no mystery surrounding why a parent gains weight. A teen swooped to the doctor for a nosebleed led to a potentially life-saving diagnosis about 3 members of the Texas family. Crystal Ann's parents were first alarmed when in 2013 that the teen had a serious nosebleed that wouldn't stop. A new study warned that because e-liquids contain the most addictive form of nicotine in many bottles of liquid and mislabeled it Level of direct area causing major problems. Looking at New England is lurking at 6:50 afternoon fire this afternoon at 19 o'clock Street in New York, Massachusetts. Was a small exterior fire with an extension report roof. Haywood California officer reportedly killed in a shootout during a traffic stop. Fair Channel News Time, 6:50. 10 for a sports report here. The Boston Red Sox will square off against the Houston Astros in the second of a 3-game series down in Houston. Joe Kelly ran for the Red Sox here. New Los Angeles Lakers respond with cringeworthy south when asked if Kobe had reached out. By Sang Moon said Wednesday that he plans to play the rest of the PGA Tour season before spinning into his mandatory military service in South Korea. Looking at Major League Baseball scores here on this Wednesday evening here. Cincinnati Reds leading the Chicago Cubs 1-0 on the bottom of the second inning here. San Francisco Giants lead the San Diego Padres 7-1 in the top of the 8th. Texas Rangers lead the Colorado Rockies 10-8 in the top of the 9th. Los Angeles Dodgers over the Atlanta Braves 3-1. Cincinnati Reds over the Chicago Cubs in the first game 9-1. Washington Nationals over the New York Mets 4-3. Philadelphia Phillies over the Tampa Bay Rays 5-4. Cleveland Indians over the Milwaukee Brewers 7-5. Pair Channel News Time 6:51 here on this Wednesday evening here, and it's time now for a travel report here on this Wednesday evening here. And the Jamestown to Newport bridges are looking good. Route 4 on the southbound side, so from Exeter to North Kingstown here. 95 on the northbound side, we got an accident after Route 4 in the East Greenwich down, so expect some delays here. 295 on the northbound side, so from Route 7 in Smithfield all the way out to Route 14699 in Lincoln down, doing an accident on 295 around Route 146 in Lincoln down, so expect some delays here. 95 on the northbound side, so for the downtown Providence section here. Route 20 on the northbound side, also around the Borden Rotary, but the Borden and Sugar Bridge are looking good here. 95 and 24 on the southbound side, so slow from Route 120 in Cantoneer. 24 southbound to get an accident after Route 120 in Kansas, so expect some delays here. Route 3 on the southbound side, so from the Braintree split down to Weymouth here. 120 on the southbound side, it is so from Route 95 to Route 24 in Cantoneer. 120 on the southbound side, it is so from the Braintree split all the way out to Route 24 here. 195 on the southbound side, it's also around Route 140 Mansfield doing Xfinity Center cut to the night, so expect some delays here. Southeast Express on the southbound side, so from the Massachusetts Turnpike all the way out to the Braintree split. Mass back on both ends, so from Logan Airport all the way out to the Southeast Expressway. Mass back on the westbound side, so from 93 all the way out to the Austin Brenton tolls. Mass back on the westbound side, so for the Newton stretch. Mass back on the westbound side, it's also slow after the Route 120 in the western air. 495 on the southbound side, slow after Mass back in Westbury air. Highways in Worcester are looking good. 495 on the southbound side. A little slow before 290 in Marlboro here. 120 on the southbound side. It is so from Route 2 in Lexington all the way out to Route 20 in Waltham here. 120 on the northbound side. So after Route 3 in Burlington all the way up to the Route 129 in Reading here. 93 on the southbound side is slow from Somerville all the way out to the Mass Pike. 180 on the southbound side of Somerville Temple. It's a little slow. 93 in both ends of downtown Boston slow. Route 3 on the southbound side, so from North Chelmsford all the way out to Route 495 and Lowell. 495 southbound side, so from Lowell all the way out to Chelmsford here around Route 4 here. 93 on the northbound side, it's a little slow before Route 120 in Sonamere. 93 and 95 are looking good from 120 to the New Hampshire border here. Up in New Hampshire here. 93 on the northbound side, it's a little slow after Route 3 in Salem, New Hampshire here. Everett Turnpike a little slow around the Manchester and Boston Airport Roadway here. 95 on the southbound side, still also around Route 101 Hampton tolls here. Spalding Turnpike on the northbound side, still also after Route 4 in Durham here. Up in Maine Turnpike on the northbound side. In York, it's a little slow. But otherwise, it's a smooth sailing commute up in the Maine Turnpike from York all the way up in Augusta here. Maine Turnpike on the southbound, so it's slow after Route 295 in Gardner, Maine here. And now look at the MBTA alerts here on this Wednesday evening here on the subway system. Serval on SL4 experiencing minor delays due to traffic. Serval on SL1 experiencing minor delays due to traffic. Serval on SL5 experiencing minor delays due to traffic here. On the commuter rail, It's looking good, and the Fairies are looking good here. Peter Channel News time is now 6:55 on this Wednesday evening time and a half. Weather report here. Alright, 7-day forecast. It goes like this here. For tonight, forecast clouds low about 57 degrees. Northwest with about 6 miles an hour here. Thursday, increased clouds high at 82 degrees. West with about 5 to 7 miles an hour here. Thursday, forecast clouds low about 36 degrees. Northwest with about 3 to 5 miles an hour. So if you're going to the northern firefighters carnival, the Yale School, you got some good weather. Friday, showers like with thunders also possible up to 5 p.m. Most of the sky high about 7 degrees. Northwest with about 3 to 5 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 6%. New rainfall amounts of less than 10 minutes. Just time amounts possible thunderstorms. Friday night, chance of showers is before 8 p.m. Then forecast clouds low about 59 degrees. Northwest wind. Chance of precipitation 30%. Saturday, most skies about 36 about 60 degrees. Sunday, chance of showers afternoon. Part Sunday, most skies about 80 about 65 degrees. Chance of precipitation is 45%. Monday, chance of showers. Part Sunday, most skies about 83 about 65 degrees. Chance of precipitation 30%. Tuesday, most Sunday forecast about 86 about 66 degrees. And Wednesday, Saturday, about 91 degrees. Not temperature at 6:56 p.m. Standing at 82 degrees with forecast skies and a humidity 35%. That's going to be it for the Peter Channel Evening News on this July 22nd, 2015 on a Wednesday evening on Tuesday of a good evening with goodbye to see you for a late night report right after the Sports Minute, right after the Red Sox Astros game. Have a good evening.